Uh, on the screen, you can see the top disclosures, the top trials for AACR 2023. You'll see it actually in just a second. I'm here with Dr. Mark Gramling, VP of Oncology at LARVOL, and we're going to talk about AACR, which just started in San Diego. I'm actually on my way to San Diego tomorrow. These are the top disclosures of 2023. Mark is going to briefly walk you through our platform called LARVOL Clin and how we can help you track the activity, the disclosures, and the digital opinion leader buzz for AACR, both in 2023 as a recap and then in 2024. Mark, you're on the air.
All right. Well, thank you, Bruno, and thanks to all who are listening in. So we just wanted to, I guess, from 2023 perspective, introduce the construct and the structure of what we do in the Clin platform. And obviously the data will be coming in now with AACR being live in 2024. So this is the LARVOL Clin platform, and we've gone straight to the conferences tab. And if you just want to look at this for personal and non for academic use, you can actually find some of this data online as well at clin.larvol.com. But with that bit of a plug, let me sort of dive into what we do in our conference coverage. So I'll actually scroll a little bit down to show in 2023, there were 578 abstracts linked to trials. And if I were to click through on one of these particular abstracts and titles, it will show you here, some of the details for that. And you can drill down to that. And then maybe for another particular trial, you can see how oncologists are reacting to that data. So this is one particular trial, E.10, if I'm pronouncing that properly, which got a lot of buzz on social. And you can see here images related to that trial. But you can see here that there were about 134, not about, but exactly, oncologists that we look at in our system reacting to that trial. And so they may have positive or negative or neutral reactions, or even reactions that say this data release could be practice changing. And so that you can see here. But to go back to my original screen, these analytics are actually showing sort of the summary of all of that. So rather exponentially, this E.10 trial was the most reacted to trial in and amongst the abstracts at AACR. And you can move down here, and these are color coded by being negative or not rated or positive or practice impactful. And we utilize AI tools to enhance our ability to do that. So that's what this analytic is. And you can click through to these to see on a trial by trial basis how people respond. We also have other analytics. Again, this is from AACR in 2023. How individuals, here we're listing their handles on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, and how they are reacting to not particular trials in this case, but how they're reacting overall. And we capture all of this in real time as the conference is happening. We also track other analytics such as by sponsor. So this is a feature that's popular with our pharma customers there. And just one more versioning of the analytic as well. Here we're going, it sort of is a matrix, if you will, by trial versus digital opinion leader, just the volume of their reactions to those trials. So that's what you're seeing here. We also do some, I wouldn't say maybe flatter analytics in terms of just looking at the number of abstracts that are being released. Again, this is in 2023 AACR, but how many abstracts are associated with particular products, particular mechanisms of action here, or particular disease areas. So that's sort of the universe that we build within Clen. This is the data that we build day over day in real time with our global team. So you can have all the social media reactions, as well as really all of the metadata for a particular conference. And so here's where you see sort of the end product. So I'll sort of pause there, and maybe I can leap over to 2024 to see how's it going as data is trickling in. But any comments on that from your side, Bruno?
One of the trials in 2023 seems like a negative trial based on the analytics you just shown. I Am Brave. Did you see that one?
This one.
That was a failure, I guess, right? Considering the amount of red it got.
Well, it's hard for me to personally judge as a failure, but there were a lot of negative reactions to that. My perception of this is maybe some of the oncologists didn't see it as practice, the practice changing study within hepatocellular carcinoma for high risk patients that it could have been. So, I mean, that's what you're seeing in the data. So, and again, our job at LARVOL and my job overseeing this platform, we're not here to make necessarily judgments. Our job is to put all of the data together so that individual users and our customers can use that data to make judgments. So
let's come to today.
Sure. So let me just back out for a second in my screen. So let me just go back to the conference tab. And if you check out Clen, you can see around again, we're talking AACR, of course, but you can see, the 130 plus major oncology conferences that we cover. If I just scroll down a bit, or I could search it, but I'll just scroll for a second. Here is AACR 2024, which is upon us. So there's 522 abstracts associated with clinical trials in the Clen system. And over the next days, we're going to see further population of the similar analytics that we are discussing. So this is quite preliminary, just some of the tweets rolling in from social media as our analysts and also our AI picks this up. But we are seeing some initial commentary on some of these trials. Now, some of these, maybe the data isn't released yet, but people are excited to see it coming. So if I actually click on this first prophetic trial, these are tweets, related to specific oncologists and digital opinion leaders looking forward to that data. So that's what you're seeing in the very, very initial stages of our AACR data curation and social media curation. So you can see that here. And again, these are the top quote unquote influencers, but right now we're still gathering this data, curating this so that, by really actually once things really get rolling at AACR, you're going to see a lot larger volume of numbers here. And then after, of course, the conference, within a day, within the day of the end of the conference, you're going to see similar analytics and similar volume to what we showed just a second ago about 2023 AACR. And we're actually planning next week, just after the conclusion of AACR, to do another podcast. Bruno, myself, and also some friends of ours at Blue Star Bio. So we're actually going to reconvene and talk about some of the practice impacting data releases and the positives and the negatives. And we're really looking forward to that once we have that data together for this year's AACR. So I'll just click through and just seeing what we're gathering thus far. I think this data is really going to blow up in the next day or so. And I forgot one feature, actually, while I'm here, forgive me, that with some of these, I've been emphasizing more of the social media apps aspect of it, but there also are analytic features here that I neglected to mention before, is that now that we're looking at some of the top products being spoken of at a particular conference, in this case AACR, you can also look year over year in terms of the volume of abstracts being produced around a particular product or maybe a particular MOA and seeing where there's movement there. For example, this jumps out to me that at least within AACR, there was a much larger volume in immunotherapy in 22 than there has been in the past 2 years, at least to date. So I wanted to mention that part of the analytics as well. So there's many other features of CLIN, inclusive of cross-trial analytic comparison, meta-analysis, looking at, as you can obviously see on the top of the screen, digitized survival outcomes data, as well as hazard ratios, as well as other and really any and all types of outcomes data for trials. But what we wanted to just give a preview today was about AACR, which is upon us, and the social media reactions, the analytics there, and showing you what CLIN can do. So obviously, again, to plug or pitch, if you will, obviously, if you'd be interested in taking a closer look at CLIN, you can check us out for a free version. Just find us online, clin.larval.com. If you'd be interested, or your team, it would be helpful to you to have some of these more advanced analytics. Find us on LinkedIn, find us on larval.com. We'd be happy to, in the context even of a major conference like this, we'd happy to arrange something to try out for free. So please don't hesitate, if you're listening to this podcast, to reach out, and we'd be happy to facilitate. So that's it from me, Bruno.
Thank you, Mark. And we'll see you in next week then for the final data of AACR.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Cheers.